Hello and welcome. This is East Texas University by way of Monster of the Week. Monster of the Week is a powered by the apocalypse monster hunting game in the vein of Supernatural, Hellboy, Buffy, X-Files, very action-oriented, written by Michael Sands, put out by Evil Hat. Very fun, solid game. I like it quite a bit, but I wanted a frame for our fun. And so we are now in the 13th session. It's a lot of sessions, guys, of East Texas University. Now, East Texas University is a setting book for Savage Worlds, a completely different RPG. It is a good RPG, and I like some of the tweaks that were made to Savage Worlds for East Texas University. But I just really like PBTA myself, and these guys are allowing me to tell them what system to use. So that's how it goes, right? There's no better or worse. This is just better for me for what I want to run right now. These guys have started with particularly mundane playbooks, and after 13 sessions, they've gotten quite a few advancements. They're getting pretty BA. Hashtag badass. Now, we are running with a slightly smaller crew. Jan Jules have some things they're taking care of today. Hope they have a great time. And we are running with our shorter crew, which is no less potent. And again, brought to you, this is the Intercontinental Group of Awesome. If you've just now tuned in, we'll try to keep you up to speed. I-95 Games is the best place to find the links to this playlist to see all of the sessions that we have. Well, of course, you can always watch it live if you happen to catch it when it goes up on Sunday afternoons. Next week, there will not be a game, just as a heads up to everybody. I will be with Paul and other nerds at Camp Nerdly in the middle of Prince William Forest Park in Triangle, Virginia. That's in the US of A. In the middle of nowhere, where the ticks outnumber the people, but there are also cabins for us to hide in, and lots of RPGs. So very much looking forward to that. But for now, we are playing Monster of the Week. Let's do a quick roll call and see who is with us. We are going to begin with Jen.
Oh, shit.
Jen, who are you playing today?
I am playing Tekla Abandonado today. She is our party's spooky. She inherited a fifth dimensional parasite from her dead father and has since been coping with being extremely psychic and college and monsters.
Psychic college is more challenging, I've heard.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
But she knew that going in because, you know, she's psychic.
It's true. It's true. Paul, who are you playing, sir?
I am playing Earl Davis. I don't have a psychic tapeworm, but I do have a YouTube channel where for a couple of years I have been posting videos about urban legends and unusual occurrences, mostly around my hometown of Nacogdoches, which is just about as east in East Texas as you can get, farther east than we are here in Pine Box. And I'm playing a Snoop, which is sort of the reporter archetype. And that's all I'm going to say. Oh,
all right. Oh.
And last week was very emotional.
It was indeed. Very emotional, and you unfortunately weren't here for a lot of that emotion. Cool.
I was here for...
Oh, I'm thinking 2 weeks back. I was thinking 2 weeks back. I apologize. Yep. Yes, last week was very emotional. Indeed.
It was Monster Hearts of the week.
It was indeed. And for people who are saying, well, when can I watch that? It's still in post-production. I will have that episode up soon. That was one that we recorded off air, and I got to edit the recordings. This one's live, though, so I don't have to do any post-production work because I'm lazy and, you know, not very organized. Alex, please tell us who you're playing.
I'm Ollie Holmes, the party's drama queen, / the wronged. I had a very dramatic last session where I got to kind of get some closure on my dead boyfriend, but now I have a slightly redirected target of my revenge with the administration, who seem to be up to some shady stuff.
According to your dead boyfriend, they're all in on it. They're hiding all of these things that are happening.
Yeah.
Indeed. Nice. Good. So we have only one start of session move, correct? I know we have premonitions. Do we have any other start of session maneuvers? Nope. None for our Snoop. None for our wronged that I recall.
I don't think so. I'm not seeing any.
All right. Premonitions at the start of each mystery. Roll plus weird.
All right, that's a 10.
That is 10 because you are a +3 on weird, you super weird chick, you.
She's weird.
On a 10 plus, you get a detailed vision of something bad that is yet to happen. You take +1 forward to prevent it coming true and mark experience if you stop it. So, we're going to seed that in just a minute. But first, we are going to start with, I think we're going to start in the boys' dorm. Ollie and Earl, the two of you are back. Let's say that it is morning and it happens to be a Thursday morning where neither of you have early morning classes. And so doors are open between the two rooms. Derek was stolen away by Tip. She showed up at like 7 a.m. and kept calling his phone until he answered it and then told him to throw on some clothes. They were going out for the day. Jessica is at the library studying hard for a midterm. And I'm going to say that we are, we're at midterm period. So somewhere in the month of March, perhaps near the Ides of March, because that's the only spooky March day there is, right? So near the Ides of March. There we go.
Has she banned love until her exams are done?
I think she banned love like ongoing, right? She's just
No, we kind of we
Yeah, there was a
kind of we moved toward a better place at the end of last session.
Yeah, you patched it a bit.
yeah.
you did. You guys patched it up while throwing chunks of the clay golem that was never magically brought to life. Unfortunately, yes, that's true. We did have that nice scene.
It was a bit of a shaky patch up, but there was definitely a patch up.
Yeah, I think you guys are still dating then, Earl.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And did you just come to an understanding that it's not exclusive?
No, I think the actual conversation went something like, you know, I said, I have feelings, but I don't want to make any assumptions. And she said, well, I think it's okay for you to make some assumptions.
Okay, cool. Sorry, didn't get an opportunity to rewatch those last bits where I normally do that. I apologize. So thank you for that refresher. Yeah. And so we'll call that our canon because it is our canon. That's why we'll call it that. That's what actually happened. So Earl, you are in your room. You know Jessica's busy, but it's not a rude busy. It's just a, hey, I really need to knuckle down because I got to maintain my 4.0 GPA and make sure that I can keep my scholarship and all that. Well, yeah, all that good stuff. She wants to be the studious, wonderful expert that she is. So you're here. And Ollie, you are also here. Now, it's been a couple weeks since the bidding adieu to Amid, and you have become a bit more and more obsessed with the administration. How have we, as an audience, and how has Earl seen this manifest? Like, what is it that you are doing differently now?
I think Ollie has been doing some kind of like following of some of the administration. You know, obviously I've forgotten his name. The one that threatened.
President Nelson?
Yeah, I think I've definitely kind of followed quite a distance because I don't know. I don't know what he is, if he's human or what, but I think I've been following,
List, because I don't think I ever actually added him.
I may have roped Earl into this because I mean he has surveillance things, he has snooping things.
Yes, I was already thinking that Earl would probably have been doing some surveilling. So it's even better if we are surveillance buddies. I agree.
Have we been in? Was it the Requiem? I'm just saying it has surveillance equipment.
Oh yes.
So
and
cool.
Also, yeah.
This could be the scene where you guys have a bit of time, so you're heading down to the Requiem just so we can get that money shot on screen of our cool new car. So Earl, Jessica has entrusted to you, or under your care, the Creighton's Compendium, and she has filled it with all kinds of post-it notes, and she's loath to write in it, so there are lots of sheafs of loose leaf notebook paper with her notes added in. And she pointed out to you the part, and I'll drop it into our notes or our chat, but I'm going to read it aloud, that she was hoping you could try to snoop around for. And she is trying to find more information about similar to you guys, but they existed in the 50s. And they called themselves the Protectors. Creighton was one of them, and he has mentioned names such as Ralph and Helen. And there's one particular passage that talks about a thing called the Sanctuary. And she, of course, would really like access to the sanctuary. I mentioned this last session, but just a bit of a reminder. Helen warned that the ritual could take a long time, so Ralph closed the bookstore early and joined us upstairs to get started. And so she has written bookstore and pine box, and has asked you pretty please if you could try to figure out what in the 50s could be this area to help you guys find that sanctuary.
Cool. Does Pine Box have a local newspaper?
It does, and I will have to check the core book real quickly to see if it was officially named, because then there's the school newspaper.
Right, but I'm for this purpose, I'm more interested in the local.
Right. No, I'm just saying, I remember the school newspaper is named. I don't see in the core book anything official about a Pine Box newspaper, but yes, there is one. We'll have to come up with a. Jen, I'm assigning you cool name for the Pine Box local newspaper.
Okay. Yeah. What's my time frame? Like right now, or
nope?
Okay.
There is a newspaper. It is a TBD for names. We're gonna you look at it, and we'll CGI in what the name of the newspaper is at an appropriate moment.
Okay.
Post.
So all right. So yeah, we're heading down to the Requiem.
I have over my shoulder like some bolt cutters, some serious bolt cutters, and a few other tools and things.
Cool. You guys head down towards the car, and as you head down the stairs, you get down to the first floor, and you see Joey. Joey is one of the guys up on third floor. He is a local, just like Derek is, and if you remember, Joey was also one of the people who was ghosted or possessed by a ghost, and Joey Gilbert tried to escort you guys to room 213. He seems to have no memory of those those moments. He sees the two of you guys. You're coming down the stairs, and he's got dark circles under his eyes. His shoulders are slumped, and he says, "Hey, how y'all doing?" And he takes a hold of the rail and starts slowly pulling him. Like he seems to really lean into the staircase, the railing of the staircase to help him get up the stairs.
Hey, what's up, Joey? You look like shit.
Yeah, man. You're Earl, right? Roomies with Derek, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I got like mono or some shit. I don't know.
Earl, we got shit to do.
Oh, yeah. Joey, take care of you. Go to the clinic, man. We got to head out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure, man. Okay. He looks back at the door. He's like halfway up the first flight of stairs. And he turns and he keeps going back up the stairs.
I Ollie kind of like, I shake my head a bit. I'm like, look, here, take this number. And I quickly scribble down almost like just an old receipt and hand him a number for the, I forget what she's called. She was the kind of
Margaret Winters?
Margaret Winters.
Nice.
It's like, you know, I kind of share a little glance with.
He does not recognize the name. You know, Earl, you saw him like write it down as Margaret Winters.
Yep.
What? What's this about? I don't get it. Is she some kind of nurse or does she do vitamin supplements or something?
Just, you know, do the clinic and maybe talk to her. We gotta go.
Okay, man. Thanks. And you guys head out into the sun. It is Texas. It is March. It is approaching hotness. It is already nice and warm outside. It's going to be in the mid 20s for Celsius.
Yeah.
And now you're going to do the Fahrenheit conversion. It's like 24 outside, sunny, bright, and there is a little bit of a wind that just kicks up every once in a while. You guys head out to the Requiem. So I'm curious, Earl, where is it that you park the Requiem, and does it fit in with the rest of the cars and just look a little obtuse because of the slight hood raise, or what?
Oh, no, it looks more than a little weird. Because remember, we have like airbrushed decoration now, and there's a fairly obvious cage in the bed of the station wagon. So yeah, and actually in the couple of weeks since then, I think probably we've even gone a little bit further with some of that. Now we can actually turn the cage into a Faraday cage. So we can electrify it so that it'll prevent signals from coming in and out, with thinking that, you know, maybe like that might eliminate, you know, like talking into people's brains or things like that. But we haven't had a chance to test it yet.
Is that a thing that you've done with? I could see that with it being a thing you did with Jess or Tekla.
I think, yeah, or Ollie.
All of them.
Yep. I think it might have been Jessica's idea, but I think we talked it through. Everybody talked it through. And Ollie is probably the most likely person to help implement that.
Okay.
So
Cool. And we flash back to you guys working on that bit. We get to reuse some of our Howard Jones music that we licensed from him, and he wrote a couple of new songs for our musical montage. So you guys come upon the wonder that is the weird flame-styled Requiem.
I forgot to answer you. I think I'm in the like student parking lot D, which, because we're freshmen, is the least conveniently located for our dorm. And but the campus is not huge, so it's not that long a walk. And yes, the Requiem sticks out like a sore thumb.
I give it a little like pat on the hood. There you go.
Yeah, freshmen. So you come out, it's the freshman lot. I imagine that there are a number of like hybrids and nice little cars. You know, there's even a smart car. There's a there are 4 electric, I don't know, you can remember charging stations, and they all have little Teslas set up, and then, you know, where we hear, I don't know, like some like low thump kind of music as you guys come along, and you hop into these couple of freshmen. They're like talking and looking at their phones, and they see you guys go, and they stop and they watch you get into the vehicle. And like one of them just kind of snaps a picture, and they talk and laugh. You know, it's going up on somebody's Instagram.
That's right. I'm a badass. That's. I know that's not really what they're thinking, but
they might.
If
you pull it off with panache.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll get in the car.
It's like nodding. Yeah. Fuck yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Throw the tools into the back seats.
Yeah, and the like the last 10 feet of the video of us walking toward the car is done in slow-mo with like a funk background underneath it.
It's like that. Hey!
Yeah, that kind of thing. But yeah, so we're in the car. Ollie, I know we've got plans for bolt cutters. Do you mind if I run past the Pine Box Register? Actually, I like the Monument. Do you mind if we run past the offices of the Monument? I want to check and see what their morgue is like.
Sure, we've not like we've really gotten anywhere, so but yeah.
Cool.
Sweet.
Your car,
guys. Oh, sorry.
You said it was my car.
Yeah. It's your car. You're the boss.
So I guess that's where we'll head. I'd like to go talk to whoever's, one of the 3 people on staff, probably, and see if I can get something for Jess.
All right, that sounds good. So you guys are headed to the Monument, which is the local paper. I'm going to say, if you take a look in our maps tab there, it's just a couple miles from East Texas University, which is north of Pine Box itself. You head through some of the woods down past Crenshaw's Woods and the Lost Pond and Whiskey Creek and all that good stuff. You come in downtown. I'm going to say that it's not that far from the pizza box or the pizza barn. Sorry, the pizza barn, because we get to reuse that set. We're really friendly with the locals there. They don't mind us filming on a whim. And it's also, I think it's probably a stone's throw from the Timber Ridge Motel. But we're going to cut away from the 2 of you guys to catch up with Tekla. So Tekla, you missed a test this week. Because of something messed up with that 5th dimension worm. What is the thing that you saw that you ended up blowing off a class to deal with? Was it a present threat? Was it a monster of some kind? Weird signals or messages?
Probably just some present threat, like maybe not a monster for a change, where I get some vision that somebody's going to fall off of a balcony or get in a car wreck or something, and I'm like, well, that can't happen.
Nice. I like that a lot. So I'm going to say that you saw. I don't want to reuse Lily right away. So let's say that you helped out. Sorry, I'm just looking. I want to reuse Hannah McCoy. Hannah McCoy, the former DGA at WETU, who considers herself a bit of a psychic. She didn't see this coming. You had a vision of her getting hit by a car in the parking lot. There were a couple of jock boys from the Row fraternity that Brent Rodriguez is president of, who would not have seen her because she kind of stepped out. She was doing the not paying attention, looking at the phone thing, stepped out right in front of the truck and got nailed.
He was probably doing one of those fucking rolling right turns.
Oh, yeah.
That everyone does either out of a driveway or at an intersection.
Yep, totally that thing. And she would have gotten nailed. Hardcore, you ditched class, ran across campus. We even had like the Oh Yeah by Yellow music just subtly playing in the background as you ran across and you grabbed her, pulled her back, and the truck and Hannah immediately saw what she just about lost. Just about had happen. Wow. And yeah, so Hannah is much more positively inclined towards you. Do you admit that you saw this to Hannah?
Does she ask with any particular pointedness?
Let's drop into this, right? We'll do a little bit of this flashback. Let's drop into this. Like you grab her, you go like grab her around the shoulder, like and pull her back in, kind of thing. Is that what you see? Awesome. So oh wow, I wasn't. She bends down, she picks up her phone, and the screen is cracked. Damn it. Dude,
sucks, huh?
Are you? Did you run here?
Kinda. I need to like take up running or something.
Thanks. You're Tekla. I remember because you have the weird name.
People usually remember that, yeah.
She ow. Tries to wake up her phone and then slips it into her back pocket. How did you did you just see me from like
Yeah. No, I was walking the quad, like you do.
You weren't walking though, you were running.
So you saw me.
Well, I could hear you kind of sort of. I just thought you were gonna run past me like a jogger or something. And then you grabbed me. Hey, did you know this was gonna happen?
I actually start walking away.
She starts walking after you. But seriously, Tekla, it's okay. Like, remember, I ran the Psychic Power Hour.
There's just this look on my face like, oh my God, I have to talk to a tourist now.
Like, I mean, it wasn't a popular show, but that's not my fault. People just don't want to believe, but I want to believe. I see stuff. It's okay.
What kind of stuff do you see?
So sometimes I see dreams, and like I have dreams. Sorry, of course, like everyone has dreams. Sorry, no one actually asks me. I have dreams, and sometimes they happen again. Like I saw it, and I see it again. But it's usually when I'm in the middle of it. But I've studied a whole bunch. There are people who have a lot more access. I'm trying to like open myself up to it.
My advice to you is don't.
Why not? I mean, there's so much going on, right? And we only use like 10% of our brains. I've been reading this book about chakras, and they're trying to how to open it up to like have a greater access to like the fifth dimension.
Don't do it. But also, that's not how brains work.
Well,
At any given moment, 10% of our brains are electrified. But if you actually map out brain activity, it's much different.
I've got this book that I mean, it says like if you really believe that okay, well, thanks, Tekla. Okay.
Listen, sometimes I do see things that are about to happen.
You saw me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw you getting run over by Brent.
What an asshole.
He's just a bad driver. And
well,
you know,
I owe you. I know you're good at math, but I can write a lit paper like something good.
I do hate writing.
Okay. So yeah, if you ever need help, and she reaches and pulls out her phone again, and she says, "I can." So give me your number. I'll text you, and then you could just hit me up. And she like grits as she has to swipe to unlock her phone. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I share my number with her, still giving her like the occasional skeptical look.
Oh, she's super into this. You believe, you see stuff. You're giving her advice rather than her just scrambling around.
Yep.
You've made a hashtag friend.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
Not even a failed move. What's up with that? Cool. So that was our flashback to you missing the test. So you bombed it. You really probably should consider trying to get a makeup on that one. Might be good. We'll say that was Professor Cutter.
Okay.
We've mentioned before is one of Professor Cutter's classes. Not a math class, right? Because you could totally make that up.
Oh yeah, easy.
So we skip to the Thursday, and you get up for the morning, late morning. For some reason, Beth didn't she went out to the links, but she didn't wake you up. Maybe she senses you're having trouble sleeping, or perhaps she has some really boring stuff to work on. So you get to wake up at your own time, and Jessica's already gone. Start getting ready for the day or the afternoon, as it were. And as you look into the mirror in your dorm, everything around you, like all of the background, the wall behind you, whatever poster, painting, whatever is up, it just fades. And then all that you see is yourself. And then you turn pale and everything shifts and you're looking at a woman. Then we pull back and you see this woman is wearing a long dress that comes down to her ankles. Her hair is done up with like curlers. It's very older style. There's a little bit of shoulders to the dress, these fancy buttons. Yes?
I need to know. Is it a curled style or are the curlers in her hair?
Thank you very much for allowing me to clarify. It is a curled style.
Okay, so it's that kind of sculpted, like curled
like she's got the bangs where everything's been curled to kind of come down like fingers, and then she's got this bow on the top, and then a little bit of a ponytail kicking up thing. Is that clearer?
Sure, yeah.
And then a big wide belt, at the side, the cinches, and it's a pleated skirt. And you see her. And then when she keeps kind of moving away from you, you see that there's a pentagram that's drawn around her.
Mm-hmm.
And she is talking to you, and she's talking to Earl, and she's talking to Ollie, like all three of you. Now you're standing, you see yourself standing by your two friends. This door that's open here, and you're looking in on this woman, and her name is Eleanor. You know that somehow. At least that's what she's told you. She says, they trapped me here. Just let me out. And you see her watching the chalk outline, and you feel this sense of heavy foreboding as Earl reaches forward and draws his foot along the chalk outline. And every sense of her guise changes. Her fingernails turn to claws, and her seeming drops away. And you see a demon that looks exactly like the one that you prevented from coming through at the gym as it moves forward, mouth slavering to kill you and your friends. What do you do?
Phew. I take a moment to calm myself down, wash my face. And resist the urge to like immediately run out and do something, because it doesn't feel quite that urgent. It doesn't feel right now. But once my hands are dry enough, I'll text Earl and be like, hey, what are you up to? As I go probably to one of the common areas to try working on my... Or have I even had a chance to talk to Professor Cutter yet about doing a makeup?
You have not had a chance to talk to Professor Cutter yet about doing a makeup. His office hours are on on Mondays and Thursdays. And
Well,
today's Thursday.
I'm heading to Professor Cutter's office.
Cool. So you send off that text, and we see it buzz as we cut scenes over to Earl. Earl, you just pulled up in front of the monument, which is funny because my son's on the third book of a trilogy of youngish adult novels called Monument 16 that he likes quite a bit. So I will tell him that we had Monument, and there will be a happy connection. The Monument is a small one-story area. The printing press is the back half of the building. The front half is where people can kind of come in, buy advertisements. They do have an area where they can conduct interviews. It's an old style. It was built in probably the 40s. It really hasn't changed much. Big window in the front from left to right, so you can see in. It's very open to gawkers, as it were. And of course, right in front, there's a nice little newspaper dispenser box there. And you see that at the front desk is a guy by the name of Manny, who is their receptionist / office manager / whatever else needs to be done at the monument. Because, like you said, it's got like 3 employees. Used to be, they had like 15.
These times, they're so sad. Well, first off, I will look at the text that Tekla sent. And what does that text say, Tekla?
It's an open-ended question. It's, hey, what are you up to?
Oh, that's right. I'll just text back that I'm checking something for Jess. I'm at the monument, the offices of the monument.
And then I'm like, does it have anything to do with a ritual?
I'll say the thing from the compendium and that she's been interested in where this sanctuary might be.
Okay. Long pause.
Okay, then I'll walk in through the door, which I'm assuming has an actual bell on it. Ding, ding, ding,
Ding,
ding.
ding, ding.
I'm kind of following in behind, kind of just like on my phone a bit, and just like.
Cool. Manny's in his 30s. He dresses, doesn't wear a tie, but he does wear a nice button-up shirt and pair of brown slacks. He is Latino, and he's got old acne scars that kind of give him that Edward James Olmos side to his faces, where there's just there's the little pock marks from old acne scars. And he looks up from his. I imagine he's probably got like a little Apple Mac that he was typing into, and he scoots back. Good morning.
Hey, Manny. I take a second to look at the nameplate on his desk. So, hey, Manny. I'm Earl. This is my friend Ollie. We're students at ETU, and I'm doing a little bit of a local history project for my journalism class, and I'm wondering how you all store your morgue, your back papers.
Oh well, that he walks around from the desk and he kind of sits on it. It's one of those big, sturdy wood desks, like a light pine, because pine box. And he sits on the corner of the desk, but he's on your side of the desk, trying to be very personable and open. He says, "Well, it's according to how far back you want to go, and we got some stuff that's in microfiche. We got other stuff that we're starting to scan through, but we're a little short-staffed. So really, anything in the last 10 years we've got available in database, and we've got quite a few keyword search capabilities. Anything other than that, still in microfiche."
And is that stored here, or is it at the library?
It's here. When we started to overflow our original built microfiche, we just moved into a couple offices as they were evacuated.
All right.
Sorry, not evacuated, but as people were let go.
Yeah. I'm looking for something particular. This project is a little weird, but I'm looking for any like bookstores that were around in the 50s. It's about the history of literacy and the literature culture of Pine Box.
Book stuff.
Yes.
Oh, well, hell, yeah. I think that you're currently talking to a witness and interviewing somebody with your interpersonal skill here. So let's work this move into the fiction that we already have here. I'd like you to roll an investigation. We get to roll with charm instead of sharp.
All right. Rolling. That will be a 7.
A 7. Okay, cool. And help wouldn't push you up to the next result, so we'll just roll forward. That gives you 1 question. You can use it on the investigative mystery or our alternate mystery. He'll say, "Yeah, literary. Yeah, that makes sense. We've had a number of bookstores here over the years. We down to just one actual, bookstore that's been around, and then the Barnes and Noble shut down. That one drove out. Wow, three different bookstores went out of business when Barnes and Noble first came through, and then Barnes and Noble shut down. So there's only one that's active now, but we've had a number of them. I mean, people in Pine Box like to read."
So this would be, I'm looking for a period like the first half of the 50s. And I don't know, do you know if there's someone still around that might be able to tell me, or if you have advertising, records of ad sales that go back that far, or it's a lot of microfiche to look at. So I'm going with,
yeah. Well, I hear you.
where can I learn more about this is my choice.
Okay.
What I'm going with.
He said, well, I could do a little bit of research amid the other stuff that I'm doing, but you might want to talk to Mary Lynn. Mary Lynn runs the used books and Emporium. It's the only place that's still active, and she'd know who her competition was, although she ain't going to know from the 50s, but her mom used to run it before her, so she'd probably be able to find out for you.
All right. Well, thank you. I really appreciate your help, Manny. And, you know, I'm thinking that maybe, you know, since you're short-staffed and all, but local papers are a really important historical resource. Maybe I can talk to someone in the journalism or department about putting together some sort of work study or project to get some students to help you with the scanning.
That would be really helpful. You know, we've got an internship, and Earl, if you ever want to learn about print media, and there are certain aspects of layout that is still going to be helpful for you if you're doing things, you know, web, blogs, Tumblr, all that stuff, it all kind of comes back. It didn't come whole cloth out of nowhere, you know. If you ever want to intern or work on a work study with us, and you don't have to just do scanning, we can help you learn about, you know, journalism as it's existed for hundreds of years.
Well, I appreciate that, and I will take it under consideration. Thank you.
All right. Well, y'all have a good day.
You too. Good to see you, Manny.
So
tinkle, tinkle.
Yeah, did Earl mean that as a brush off, or?
No.
Okay. Cool. Well, he's pleasant nonetheless, because he's a good old Texas boy.
Yeah, no, it wasn't really a brush off. It's something that I probably won't be able to, that Earl probably won't be able to do, but it's not, he doesn't dismiss it as not being worth doing. It's just, he's focused in a different direction.
Absolutely.
So.
Okay.
So we're going to go and get some answers out of that old lady.
Sure. I wouldn't necessarily have put it in quite in exactly that way, but yeah, let's go to the used book emporium.
Okay.
Maybe we can hit her with a, you know, a first edition of Gone with the Wind or something, just to make it convincing.
Oh, cool.
So if you take a look, Pizza Barn, you can just head up the main street and take a right. You'll head just like literally 2.5 blocks before you find Mary Lynn's Used Books and Emporium. I'm imagining you're Google mapping it. Mary Lynn's bookstore is in a 2-story brick building. The entry to the store you can see is dominated from the window. You can see there's a big cash register and a serving counter. So not only is it a used bookstore, but it looks like they serve coffee and pastries. And there are reading chairs and coffee tables inside. Looks like they have a few deli table, like, I don't know, deli's not the word for it, right? This wrought iron kind of painted black type of tables that you would have outside of a small restaurant.
They call them bistro tables. Yeah.
Bistro table. Thank you. I knew there was a better term for it. So yeah, there are a couple bistro tables that are out front, but nobody's sitting at them right now. Do you guys park and go inside, or?
Yeah, I think we might as well. Hey, Ollie, you don't mind if we follow this up since we've come this far, right?
Yeah, we're here. I mean,
I'll buy you a coffee while we're inside.
okay. Lead the way.
Yeah, we'll park and head in.
Cool. So you park the Requiem, walk a half block, pass by. There's a newspaper, another newspaper. Oh, what are those things called? Like the newspaper dispensary machine boxes.
Oh yeah, the little put a coin in.
Yeah.
I think it's just a paper box. Yeah.
All right.
Like
so you
head. Vending machine.
There you go. Go past the paper box and head inside. We hear another ding of a bell, as well as one of those true tone sounds, like moo. And there is a woman there who looks up. She's behind the counter. She looks tired. And other than the reading chairs and the coffee tables, there's tall ceilings in here, an old pine floor. There's a heavy smell of wood, and then that smell, paper, that print smell that you just it permeates older books here. The overall is a pretty open. It's not one of those where you've got all kinds of really narrow shelves that make it feel like a maze. And you also see that there's a help wanted sign taped below the cash register. There are a couple people who are sitting here eating some like crullers, drinking coffee, and quietly reading. What do you do?
I begin to loiter.
Nice. Okay.
I'll walk up to the counter and put on my best friendly, and say, "Are you Mary Lynn by any chance?"
Remember the coffee.
I'm getting there, Ollie. Are you Mary Lynn?
Yes, I am. Would you and your friend like some coffee?
Yeah, we'll take 2, please. I appreciate that.
I didn't point it out, but like there's a blackboard behind her where she's handwritten the prices of some of the stuff. She's got a little espresso machine and some different pastries and then coffee itself. So she starts to work on that. She says, "Yes, I am Mary Lynn. Nice to meet you."
Nice to meet you. And your mom ran this place from way back, right? I'm sorry, I was talking to Manny at the monument. I'm trying to do a little research for a school project.
Oh, yes. My mother, also Mary, she ran the store from, oh gosh, I want to say from like 42 until I took over. She passed away just recently.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am. Do you know, by any chance, changing tack a little bit rather than asking for information about other than here, I'm going to ask about here. Do you recall her ever mentioning someone named Ralph that might have worked for her in the 50s?
She thinks for a second. She hands it. You've got a couple of unornamented coffee cups, and she hands those over. Do you need a tray or anything? Did you guys want some pastries?
Ollie,
Yeah.
did you want some? Yeah?
Get me that one.
All right. I'll get him that one.
Cool. So yeah, she pulls out a little like bear claw. I make these myself. She puts it on the thing.
Oh.
Yes, I remember a Ralph. Mom mentioned that was a long time ago. Early on.
These local history projects they give us at school are sometimes a little obscure.
What did you need with
No, some guy Ralph in a bookstore came up in a, like in a diary that I was going through from the school collection, and I'm trying to run it. Do you know? Did he maybe live upstairs here by any chance? What's upstairs?
So you ask about upstairs, and you sense this as well, Ollie. She gets really uncomfortable when you mention upstairs. There's just an immediate goes from the open expression, looking attentive, nodding. You mention upstairs, and she kind of looks, and there's this real old looking door that must be the door to the stairs upstairs, and it says no admittance. And she says, I wouldn't know anything about that. Did you want any particular books? perhaps. We have a lot of used books. We also have a newer section over there.
See, this is the moment when I choose not to press further, because I suspect that I have my answer, and trying to confirm it by asking more questions will just get awkward. So I will make sure that Ollie is happy with his bear claw and coffee, and then I will briefly wander back to the anthropology section in the used books and look for the most obscure, but like customs of the,
Algonquins.
yeah, something like that. Whatever. Just something that I can buy as a gesture, so that she doesn't just remember me asking that question.
Before
and then
he
something
does,
for Jessica.
Yeah, before he does the buying, I kind of like wander back there with him and I guess you could call that a look as well.
Oh yeah. So we found the place. We found the place.
So you distract her by going through the door.
We look around, see what the security system's like. We might want to do this when no one else is actually here.
Cover of darkness.
Yeah,
You're learning.
I am learning. My master is a good master. Wow, that sounded creepy when it actually came out of my mouth.
By the way, much better than the shit at Java the Hutt.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know how, because I see them brewing it. I don't know how they managed to make coffee so bad. It's a miracle.
So we cut from right that moment to see Tekla walking across campus. She walks right past Java the Hutt. Do you stop to get any of the coffee there, or just go on to Professor Cutter's?
I made myself a nice sugary homemade Americano this morning. And so I have that in a little thermos today.
A thermos. How cute.
I know. So no, I don't stop by.
All right. Awesome. So we see the front facing of the building, and then you're heading in, and Professor Cutter's office. You see Cutter on the little nameplate on the door, and the door is closed. You knock, and Professor Cutter says, "Come in."
And I open the door, sort of leading in shoulder first, and slide into the room. Professor Cutter, hey.
Hey. Tekla.
Yes. Really sorry about missing that test earlier this week. I was not feeling well.
Sorry to hear that. Are you feeling all right now?
Yeah, I'm doing better. I know that I didn't contact you in advance, but I was hoping that there was something I might be able to do to make up that test.
He pauses for a moment. Then I'll ask you, Tekla, how has your attendance, attentiveness, and participation been in this class?
What is this class? I can't remember.
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. Let's say it's not a math class. It'll be one of your other core that you had to take.
Right.
So, and I can't remember. Unfortunately, I didn't take proper notes on Professor Cutter. I think he was just a professor name that I dropped. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure where he teaches. So it could be something along like lits or sciences or a creative art of some kind.
Maybe could be speech or communication. But let's see here.
Uh-oh. Dice rolling for classes.
All right, so 1 and 2 is going to be lit, 6 is going to be speech and communication. Then 4 will be science, and 5 will be arts. Science.
Science. Okay.
What kind of science?
Again, we'll go with the idea that you're a freshman in a core, so either biology or chemistry intro. Which do you want?
Chem.
Chem. All right, so he's your chem teacher. He teaches like lecture hall style. He's the kind of guy that stands in front of hundreds of students. It's generally impersonal. He also checks up on the lab that you would have adjacent to the main lecture. And there aren't many tests, so missing this test was a big deal.
Yeah.
So how has your participation been? Are you kind of person who's just taking a lot of notes? You're physically there, or do you leave a recorder after realizing that's what 60% of the student body does?
Honestly, I go to lecture and I take notes. I like chemistry, but it's certainly no physics. But I think I probably can't take physics yet because I probably took enough physics in high school that like now I have to get through my first year here and get the math prerequisites if I want to go into deeper physics.
Takes a second and taps on his laptop. He looks up your record. It's pretty obvious about it. He's not ignoring you. He's just hold on a second. Let's just check up here. Well, Tekla, your first semester was good. This semester you've been doing well. I do have a policy about makeups, though, he says, kind of drawing it out, heading towards a no. Why don't you try to manipulate him to give you some leeway here?
Cool. All right, so that's a 6.
That is a 6. Okay. Well, first of all, congratulations, you get an XP. Second of all, he says, I've got a note in here on your file from President Nelson. Yeah, you can go ahead and make that up. That's no problem.
Okay.
Good. I mean, do you want to take the test with you?
I mean, do we have to work out a proctor and a time?
He looks at the computer again. No. He scoots back and he reaches into his drawer and goes through the thing, and he pulls out the test, and he says, you can go ahead and fill it out here you go. He's just handed you the key to the test.
I hand the key back.
Well, I do need something for you to grade. I need to grade something, Tekla.
Not this, please.
All right, sure. He takes the key and he puts it back down. He pulls out a blank packet of the questions. If you could get that to me by this next Tuesday work. By the way, this was a test that was taken during that period, and he's now giving you over an entire weekend to take it.
I'll get this to you by tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're doing well, Tekla, and I wish you the best of luck on your test. I'm sure you will do well. I'm sure you will.
Thank you. I fold up the test and I put it in my bag and I leave.
Okay, cool. We will take our first bio break here, take about 5 minutes, and we'll jump back in.
Cool.
Welcome back.
Thank you. My delightful roomies are playing Diablo right now.
Ah,
If I were not playing this game, I would be leveling my necromancer in Diablo with them.
aha.
I was about to ask the circus thing for the game.
Yeah.
Very cool. I bounced off of Diablo. It was cool. I think it's mostly the co-op experience that makes it fun, right?
Diablo is absolutely a very different game when you're playing single player, and yeah, a weaker game playing single player. Although, I mean, at certain levels and styles of play, there's a lot to the solo game. But you know, you've got to hit level 70 and start doing interesting challenges.
Mostly thanks to Play by Post, I have become a very I don't play a whole lot of video games right now. But that said, the current free offering on Xbox One, I don't know if it's in Europe as well,
I think they have the same.
Super Mega Baseball 2.
Oh, yeah.
Because see, MLB signed an exclusivity with Sony. Although there's also some there's a very small selection of choice of good baseball games on the Xbox, but this one just came out, and it was released as the free game, and it's the first time it came out, which blew my mind. You can it's cartoony as heck, but you can custom make the characters. I currently am playing the orcs, and I just want to say there's a very robust logo making capability, and they even had an orc picture that I could use, and I've got like the custom colors of all the uniforms, and oh my gosh. So I've made me, and you can make girls for the game, which is super cool. So my son and I made my wife, and he's a star pitcher. And last night I created a Paul, and he looks pretty great. I'm kind of pretty proud of my Paul Edson. He's got a lot of pump in his bat there. He had a couple hits in the exhibition that I played, but I haven't filled out the team at this point. I think the Intercontinental Group of Awesome may be drafted to the Orcs. So I'll start making you guys
change the skin color to non-human.
No, you can't make green. It's all the skin colors are like pink to brown, and there's like a weird Simpson-y yellow in there. But the heads
like that kind of olive colored Mediterranean.
Yeah. Thing. So yeah, you can't make anything as inhuman, although they look cartoonishly odd. But yeah, it's super fun. I will be probably over time making. This is a thing I used to do a lot of back when I played a lot of video games. In fact, and this will be the last of story time with Rich. But on the original Xbox, there was a football game that I played obsessively with the guy who was the GM of my L5R game. We made an entire Rokugani team of all of the major NPCs and PCs of that campaign as one incredibly powerful team. And we probably played 10 seasons with those guys. They were really, really amazing. That was such a fun time. And I don't know why that is so pleasing to me, but there's something about when Paul Edson came to bat last night, and he got a triple. It was great. So,
I'm a badass.
You are super badass. Like the body types are like skinny, athletic, beefy, and beefy is like Barry Bonds style, like he's swole, and so Paul is swole. He's beefy as all get out. It's hilarious. Woo! That's just it's like it hits a certain pleasure center for me. I guess it's like my Diablo. Let's pick up with you guys at the bookstore. Are you leaving the bookstore? Do we want to meet up? What do we want to do? What's our next scene here?
Yeah, I think after my weird interaction, I'd probably go back to texting Earl.
So I'll say, I have information. Let's meet. We'll be back on campus in 15.
Cool. Where are we going to meet?
Wherever you tell me.
Out of character, though, what location do we think would be a good location?
We have had a significant number of scenes at the library.
Mm-hmm.
You probably don't want to be at the President's Hall, the O'Brien Estate, nor do you want to be at the admin building. You know what would be fun for me? Just tell me if this is too much, but maybe a nice open air, like the football stadium, the Ravens Nest, maybe somewhere around there. There's probably...
On the bleachers?
Yeah.
Some training, maybe?
Yeah, that works.
Nice.
I like that.
We come up, the camera paints the three of you. We'll say the Tekla was already here. The two of you guys are moving along the bleachers. And for some reason, our music production company decided to slip in like a Snoozek version of Summer Lovin' from Greece. Not that they're hinting towards anything, just, you know, when the music producer thinks of bleachers, that song comes up. So
apparently.
Yeah, you guys meet up. They say there's football practice going on right now. The ETU Ravens are getting ready for the big game this weekend.
Oh shit!
In March. Okay.
No, there's no big game in March. Sorry, I'm sorry. Thank you. It's like a co-ed flag football game is going on. There we go.
I like it.
Totally changes the tone of things. Thank you.
Yes,
I like that better.
So I'm still carrying the little plastic bag from Mary Lynn's used books and Emporium with a volume of, like a mid-century volume of totally incorrectly interpreted Indian folklore, Native American folklore, which will be at best amusing. But, it's just like, I don't really buy her flowers, so I had the chance to buy her a book. But then I'll sit down. So, how's your morning been?
So, I missed a class earlier this week because I had to do a thing, which meant that I missed a test in Professor Cutter's chemistry. There aren't a lot of tests, but they're a significant portion of the grade, so I went in to, beg for my GPA. And it was sort of not going to happen. But apparently President Nelson has a note on my file with the school.
So what was the result?
Professor Cutter tried to hand me the key to the test and tell me that I had a week to do it.
That is weirder than a skunk in a bow tie.
Was he trying to set you up?
I don't know, but I gave it back to him, and now I have this shiny, illustrious blank one, and I've promised to get it back to him tomorrow, and I'm freaked the fuck out.
Without a proctor?
Without a proctor or a schedule.
Huh. Do you want to break into an old lady's bookstore? We had a thing as well.
Let's start that back off at the beginning, and then we can repeat the question afterwards. Earl, what's up with the bookstore?
We went to the offices of the monument. They sent me to Mary Lynn's. Oh, I'll just hold up the bag so that you can read.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom owned the store since it opened in 1942. It's pretty clearly the place that's mentioned in the compendium.
Okay.
And when I asked about Ralph and whether he had maybe lived upstairs or something, She clammed up and looked nervously at the wooden door with the no admittance sign.
Cool, cool. So corpse in the attic, got it.
Or something.
Or something.
Because remember, that's where they were going to do some sort of ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Hence breaking into the old lady's bookstore. Take your mind off stuff. Possibly it's all connected.
We need to be careful. If rituals were conducted there, there's probably a lot of bad juju.
Hence why good to have somebody with, you know, juju of their own.
You didn't say good juju, and I'm grateful.
Juju's juju.
Okay.
Now I want some jujubes.
Those are gross.
Yeah, they are, but I couldn't help. I had to say it.
Okay. Well, all right. If we're doing this, we need to not disrupt this old lady's life too much, and we need to not change anything in there.
Right. But I think this may be...
break into places.
Hmm?
Yeah. I know how to break into places.
It may be important for us to find out what's up there, and I agree. Mary Lynn seems to be perfectly sweet. I don't think there's any reason for us to do a lot of damage. I certainly don't want to, you know, mess with things mankind was not meant to fuck with. If there's anything like that upstairs, but
isn't that what we do all the time?
Oh, it's different when it's thrust upon us. When we're thrusting ourselves upon it, caution is the order of the day.
A magic prophylactic. Sure.
So,
are you missing Jess, by the way? Just, you know, sensing a subtext.
well, it's something she asked me to do. And she's really, really busy.
Yeah, so we have to get going with the thrusting.
All right. Yes, I said thrust twice. Fine. Grow
Three
up.
times.
So, if we're going to do this, how about tonight, maybe 9 o'clock? I think she closes at 8.
All right.
Does that work?
Sure.
I got to text Toby.
Oh. Sorry, if you have a date, we can do it later.
No. Cool. Start sending a message.
Okay.
All right.
Do you guys have anything you wanted to note, take care of during the day, or before we jump ahead?
I'm gonna take some time, take care of my chemistry test.
I'm making sure the batteries on all the things are charged up.
What about Spike? Are you telling her about this?
We're
just keeping it with the team.
This is actually breaking and entering, so I think I will leave Spike out of it for now.
Makes sense.
Did I see you pack a camera?
Yeah, we got a document, right?
I prefer not to document my crimes.
I won't document the actual breaking in.
YouTube, the grand self-incrimination machine.
I do have some self-restraint. I won't necessarily put everything on. I don't put everything on the web.
For sure.
So, yeah, that's all I'm doing in the interim, aside from actually going to class.
Ooh, harsh. Is that some kind of slam?
No. I mean, I assume that I have classes sometime during the day.
Yeah.
And also, if I have the opportunity, because I have this sinking suspicion that once again we are going to work through the night, I'm going to take a nap.
Wait a second. We don't sleep in this game.
I'm also going to go to the bathroom twice.
Oh, such pointed slams. I love it.
One thing I'm going to take some time to do is go to the library, avoiding the shit out of Jessica, and start doing research on an Eleanor. See if how many Eleanors attended in. I might start my research looking for that belt.
Nice. Okay.
And try to find the years that it was released and popular as a brand, and then compare that to attendance records at the school.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and have you roll with Sharp to investigate this mystery.
That's a 10.
Nice.
I'm just, while you're thinking, Rich, just to give you a moment. I have several friends that are costumers for Washington Opera and designers.
Mm-hmm.
And their desks are the most amazing places and bookshelves because they're these huge Bibles of advertising spot illustrations and things like that that go decade by decade. And literally, if the theater department is decent at all, you should be able to find a belt specific 20th century fashion Bible that will make things easier for you.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that is really cool.
I get lost in that. It has no use for me, but I can get lost in that shit forever.
It's real fun.
Yeah.
You will find, and I'll give this to you because of the 10, because I think it's interesting. That belt was popular in 1953.
Okay. I'm maybe going to sneeze. I'm not going to sneeze.
Okay. If it was meant to happen, it'll come back.
Excellent. All right. So I think my first question is going to be, who else is caught up in this?
Who else is caught up in this? Cool. I think that actually is a perfect question for how you were researching this. You already have the information about the protectors from Creighton's compendium. You know that he is caught up and related to this. You also know that Mary Lynn was the original owner of the Emporium, though neither of those factors are new information. What you are able to confirm by looking at 1953, the name of Eleanor, and the school roster in 1953 for East Texas, you are able to find that there were a total of 12 Eleanors who were attending the school at that time. And you are able to account for 10 of them as either hold on. Before I say that, let me make sure. So that's a significant period. 10 of them are dead. and you can account for where they are buried. 2 of them are still alive. Neither of them are in Texas.
Okay.
There. Is that fair? Is that enough information?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. So I suppose that the next good question is, what is being concealed here?
The second floor of the bookstore, you're researching at the library, so you are able to find some information that the second store was actually a room, had a room for rent advertisement in the early 50s. And that Mary Lynn, the bookstore owner at the time, that she would let that room out and advertise specifically on campus.
Good way to do that, yeah. All right.
Got a third? Anything else you want to think about it?
I want to think about it. I'm going to hold on to my third.
Okay. Cool. All right. So we are going to skip ahead to 9 o'clock at night, and you guys heading to. Sorry, I just saw the note from Paul saying there were bagpipes outside, and that is pretty odd. Cool. So you guys head in to town, to Pine Box. I imagine that you are all in the Requiem. Paul, Earl, where do you park quite a ways away or close and just walk? What's the plan here?
Unless Ollie advises otherwise, I will park not in line of sight of the building. So a couple blocks away, around a corner, whatever.
Okay. Now, one piece of information that I did not share with you guys during the scene, but you, Ollie, definitely picked up while Earl was having that conversation, is that there was a small surveillance camera mounted high in one corner to overlook the rear portion of the store, the bookstore. And that also meant that within the field of view is that door that leads up to the second story.
But the front door.
Front door.
Not covered by that.
Not covered by it. You could walk into the front door, and if you never walked to the back half of the bookstore, you would not be on that camera. It's Pine Box. It's a sleepy little town. You're able to park, make your way over to the bookstore. The only threat is the possibility of people watching, but it is a downtown area, so it is a very light residential. Any people that do live here are second story. Well, there's not a whole lot of second story here. It's mostly one story buildings. So you feel relatively secluded at the moment unless something goes wrong.
Kind of a pause by the shop. Are we being watched? Kind of gestured, looking significantly at Tekla. I don't know exactly how her powers work or what she can sense, but
use your mind powers to break the camera.
I mean, like just like people around, Is
Yeah,
there any from windows or anything?
I'm just like,
And then I jimmy the lock. Stick some screwdriver and then just do a little move.
Oh, well, why don't you use that little move?
Okay then. I It is sharp, so
Yeah.
that's flat roll for me. Let's reroll those. Well, there's good news.
The good news is that you get an XP.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so you start to jimmy the lock, and when you do, the door opens up, but faster than you anticipated, and you didn't top that true tone, so it goes boom, 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 nice and loud, and you are rather sure that you've broken the lock as well. So you need anything to, yeah. What do you do?
I just like just get in quick.
Yeah.
I haul my ass inside.
Cool. All right.
Ollie's the expert on this. I busted.
All right, you guys bust inside. The way I see this bookstore is that it's got quite a few windows, so you're going to have to kind of move in behind a bookshelf and also try to avoid the gaze of the surveillance camera. But
I quickly look. Is there like some sort of sensor for that? Kind of doom doom.
Yes, there is a sensor that if you remembered it, you could have.
I just smack it with the screwdriver.
That works just fine. It no longer works. You've got a too tough. You broke it. Good job.
Yeah. Good. So we won't hear anyone coming in behind us. That's great.
Yeah.
That was out of character. Earl is not questioning Ollie.
That could have gone better.
Hey, no harm so far. So.
Oh, camera. So.
I look around.
Okay.
And because this is a bookstore in the 20 teens, it's basically 50% gift shop at this point.
Yeah.
So, there are kitschy pens and little boxes with a toy and a very small book inside, effectively. And I imagine a display of like famous author finger puppets. Right? Or like
bookstore would be
exactly
about that.
Exactly.
There's like there's a J.K. Rowling.
Margaret Atwood.
Hey, she's nobody's puppet, man.
George R.R. Martin.
Earl will be tempted to steal the H.P. Lovecraft.
Depending on the
Yes.
So I grab
Ayn Rand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grab a big bellied G.R.R. Martin hand puppet, and I'm just like,
Okay, cool. So you're going to try to use the hand puppet, George R.R. Martin hand puppet, to cover over the camera. I think it's an act under pressure.
Cool.
And roll with cool.
I think I have just a flat cool, so we'll see how this goes.
Don't take it personal, but you do.
Yeah. So that's just a 6. Does anyone want to help me out?
Absolutely.
You sure you don't want that XP? You can just take the fail.
No, I'm going to help.
Okay, good call. Help out. When you help another hunter, roll plus cool.
Right. I was, planning on actually describing how I did it first.
How do you do it? Sorry.
I can't help it. I've spent so many, I'm a young man from Texas. And despite the fact that sports isn't the thing that I do now, I have spent hours and hours being coached on various things. So what I'm doing is I'm totally mansplaining how to get it properly positioned and, get it up there. And I'm right, but I'm saying it the way my dad would. And so it totally sounds condescending. Just going flat out honest on that. I think my cool is 2, so.
It is. You're good at this.
You are cool as the other side of the pillow, Earl.
That's a 10.
Nice. No complications for you, and that pushes you to a 7.
Sweet.
Yes. So with a mixed result, you put George R.R. Martin up there, but he is precariously placed, and you realize it's possible if, luckily, that is a stationary camera, but it's possible he may fall off. You can get up there and try to tape it on, but then, any hint of this is obvious if someone broke the door, taped up something over the camera, anything along the lines of hiding any aspect of this burglary is out the window if you do that.
Yeah. So I'm just like watching it, doing that sort of thing where I'm like waiting to see if it falls right now, try and catch it. I'm like, okay, it's on. Let's not stomp our feet or anything.
At the rear of the store, there's a locked antique door. It reads no admittance. Below that, handwritten, it says, "This is not a motel. If you want somewhere private, get a room. This area is being monitored," which you guys are taken care of. How do you wish to get past this? You want to try to jimmy that lock? You had so much success with the front door.
Well, I go over, look at the lock, and like just pick up the little, the do not enter sign, whatever, and just chuck it to the side. Okay. We'll make the same mistake. And I try again. And I get a 9.
Hey!
All right, with burglar 7 to 9, you get 2 options.
I do. Find what you were after, and we get out undetected.
All right. Good. All right. Yeah, you realizing the look of this particular lock, you hunt around for a little bit and find there is a key that's actually kept underneath the cash register. And you're able to use that, so you do no damage to the antique-looking lock. The stairs leading up have a single naked bulb with a long string hanging down. When you pull it, that bulb doesn't come on. The second floor consists of a cramped landing. As you head up the creaky stairs, you see that it is leading to 2 large, dusty rooms.
I'm definitely taking my knife out at this point.
That is a good call.
Yep.
The front room contains broken furniture. I'm sorry, what were you going to say,
Tekla? As we enter, I tug on the back of both of y'all's shirts, and I'm like, keep a really close eye on where you step.
I just nod.
The floor is creaky, is covered with dust. It has the creak is that kind that if you barely step on it, it creaks with nearly the same audible alarm as when you step on it heavily. So there are 2 large dusty rooms. The front room has broken furniture and boxes of old paperback romances, all with the covers ripped off. There's some, if it were daytime, you see there are windows There are 3 tall, narrow windows that could leak in some light here. What are you guys using as a light source, though? There's a little bit of street light that comes in, but it's incredibly dim. To use your phones, you want to go ahead and just kind of creep around in the very, very dim light.
I turn on the light in my GoPro, but I'm not recording yet.
Okay. So there are a trio of tall, narrow windows facing the street, allowing just a hint of street light, but you guys are able to see clearly with the GoPro. The back room, remember, there's 2 rooms here. The back room has empty bookcases and a bunch of junk, dusty junk, including a worn Teddy Ruxpin doll that's sitting on one of the shelves all by its lonesome.
Can I read a bad situation? I just...
You can.
Because, dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Especially dolls that can talk when they come
The
out.
moment he sees the bear.
Yeah. What's my sharp? I think I got +1, maybe, or flats.
You're flat.
Flat, okay, I got 7.
You got a 7. You get 1 question.
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
So let me I will answer that. There is one more detail as you guys are looking at these 2 rooms that I'm sorry I have to share with you, but both rooms stink of the rats that skitter in the shadows and behind the walls. Now, is there any danger that you haven't noticed? Is you see, Ollie, that one of the bookcases in the back room, as the 3 of you are moving about, one of the bookcases, you can see that there is along the floor kind of a circular point that comes from the rightmost part of the bookcase, like someone has scooted it out and back a few times in the past, and has scraped a little bit of a groove in the floor. And Tekla, your stomach starts to churn uneasily near that bookcase.
I kind of just gently kind of tap her arm and just point with my knife towards the bookcase. And
And I give him a look like I see it. Yeah.
And I kind of gesture my head like, should we go, man?
This seems pretty spooky, Earl. Are you recording anything yet?
Yeah, I flipped it on as soon as we were in the second room.
Nice.
As soon as I saw the Teddy Ruxpin.
Close shot of the teddy zooms into its eyes, sweeps to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, anyone nudges that and makes it talking, I'm stabbing them.
Hey, it's okay, man. I have no intention.
Nope. I had one of those when I was a kid, and let me tell you, no.
The bookcase door, Ollie and Tekla, it is latched closed, but not locked. And so once you press that disguised latch, which was hidden at the back right side, about three shelves up, the door starts to swing open, but the hinges are very creaky. And as it moves, it disturbs decades of dust. So you spend a moment coughing.
Oh, gross.
There are no windows into this room. But inside, it's actually very, very dark. When you shine with the GoPro, Earl, which means you've got to move up a little bit.
Yep, of course.
You hear nothing. And when you shine the light in, you shine across a chalk pentagram, and there's a woman, the woman from your vision, Tekla. She appears to be in her 20s. She's pretty. She's wearing a pleated skirt, this cute kind of pink belt. Her hair is curled, and she looks at you pleadingly. She's opening her mouth, talking, but you can't hear anything as you guys stand.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I clasp a hand on Earl's shoulder, and I'm like, ignore her.
But
Now,
There's a demon in here. Don't listen. Let's search the room and get out.
the room is tight. It's a 3 by 4 foot single room. You see inside from your vantage point, there's a small shelf that holds several small books. You also see, and this might pique Jessica's interest, there are several like storage containers, almost the kind of, you've seen the storage containers that you could put candy in. It's got the silver top, right?
Yeah.
The kind
Several
like
of those.
lock thing.
Yeah. Several of those where you can see there's a hand scrawled note that's been put down in each of the things to identify them. And then there's a bunch of old, maybe turned to dust components that are in those. There's a brass circle nailed to the floor. And prominently hung upon one wall is a large county map.
can we get to any of this stuff without crossing the circle, without crossing the
You
pentagram?
can. But I'm giving you all this information as you guys are standing outside of the room,
Right.
Just so we're clear. You're rather sure, even though it's a 3 by 4 foot room, this circle did not dominate the entirety of the area, and you're pretty
Okay.
sure you can move around.
Yeah.
Does any of that stuff look kind of anachronistic, like out of, more modern, or is it all
This is a time
covered in dust?
capsule. This is absolutely a time capsule. It looks like it's been undisturbed for decades.
I'm going to head for the map and flash on, get a good photo of it.
Cool. As soon as you step across the threshold, you hear that woman's voice like somebody just flipped a TV channel in the middle of a commercial.
Whew.
You would just like, oh, thank the Lord. Thank you. I need some help.
Side eye.
Will you please help me? There were some people. They trapped me here. I've been here for so long. It's maddening.
I take my picture.
Cool. So a bit more information about the map as she tries to talk to you. By the way, Earl and Ollie, neither of you hear this conversation, but you see that she's turning and addressing Tekla.
And I'm reacting. Maybe it's low-key Tekla reactions, but
You're not actually answering though.
yeah.
So one thing that you get from that map, looking at it closely, and you can examine more later, there are intersecting lines of different colored string that cross the county.
Yes.
And that's the ultimate clue of crazy person, right? Obsession, crazy person, obsession. All the lines converge on a single area outside of town.
A bit north of town?
Maybe. And also there's a framed photo that rests upon a small table.
Okay, I look at it.
Yeah, you take a look at that. Doesn't look familiar at the moment, but might be useful.
Mm-hmm.
Can you?
I snap a picture of it as well.
Okay.
And I glance over, I nod. Hey, wait, can I hear Ollie through the threshold?
You cannot.
Okay, so I don't.
Sorry. I should have been clear about that. There is some kind of hoodoo here that prevents any sound leaving this area.
Yeah. I kind of frown and take a step forward into the room.
Oh, hello. Your friend is ignoring me. My name is Eleanor, and there were some people here. They trapped me here. I've been here for so very long, and all I need is I just want to go home. Will you help me, please, sir?
I glance at Tekla.
Ignore her.
Ignore me? What have I done to either of you? Please, be courteous.
I start, like, grabbing
Okay.
up one of the books and paging through it a little bit just to see if it's interesting or useful.
Yeah, so the very first book, bless you, very first book that you pick up, you recognize a number of rituals here. Just from the phrasing, you recognize the handwriting on one page looks exactly like the handwriting from Clayton's compendium.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it looks like they are rituals and spells to hurt creatures of extraplanar creatures, to trap them,
Mm-hmm.
to bind them, to cause them pain, to drive them out.
Mm-hmm. While I have my back to her, I also, like, pull Delagarza's cross out of my shirt.
You got her back to her, though, so she won't see it. Earl, all this is going on. It looks like they're pilfering the room. You going in?
I must. I feel I must. So I step across the threshold. I'm stepping towards wherever Tekla is.
Sir, sir, please. I've been asking your friends for some help. I don't understand why a common courtesy, like, if you would just kick the chalk there, that is what is holding me. It's some kind of magic spell that has been cast to trap me here. I would be forever grateful if you could allow me to go home. That's all I ask.
Is she a vampire?
Who's waiting for you at home, baby? And I, like, turn because I need to face Earl because this is sort of the moment.
Who's waiting for me at home? I don't even know. It feels as if it has been forever. What year is it?
What year do you think it is?
When I was trapped here was 1953.
Vampire.
No. I am not a vampire.
I'm going to believe a vampire.
It's just like something a vampire would say. Sorry.
A vampire would have fell into a state similar to one being comatose, a kind of torpor without the blood needed to sustain their nightly activities. I am not a vampire, sir. My name is Eleanor, and if you will do me the courtesy of letting me free, I will grant you knowledge. Perhaps a wish.
We talking to Genie here? Is that a thing?
It's possible.
You said your name was Eleanor,
Yes,
and you want to go home.
I do. My family is there. Although your clothing looks so strange, I worry that maybe they're not there anymore. But
Where
you
is
need to
home?
know.
Where is home, Eleanor?
I am local to Pine Box. My family is located just on the outskirts. They're farmers. The Halseys?
All right. Does this refute or affirm something I know?
There is a farming. There's a farming family, the Halseys, and they had a member of their family named Eleanor who attended ETU, and she died. She died about 20 years ago.
Did she have an obit?
She did.
Okay.
She had an obit. She died. We didn't say that you've gone to visit her grave, but she is local and did pass away.
Mm-hmm. Eleanor, you died in a motor accident.
What is it that the three of you want? What is it that I could give you to be free of this? I will not harm you. You will be my saviors.
I think... actually, I nod to Tekla. I gesture at Tekla.
Mm.
And I nod to the outside of the room. Like, let's talk on the other side of the threshold for a minute.
Cool. I head out and I just raise a hand to Ollie. That sort of stay frosty eye contact look.
And Ollie can certainly come too if he wants, but
I think Ollie's gonna try and be intimidating to the possibly ancient demon.
Fold his arms at the demon. Look,
yeah.
Butch.
Yeah. I think I'm picking dirt out of my fingernails with a huge knife.
Perfect. So Tekla, what's your take on this situation? Obviously, you don't think it's a college girl that's been trapped there for 65 years.
She's a demon and she'll gladly kill us all.
So maybe we should do what she's asking and send her home. Not set her free.
As long as we don't break the circle, I'm for it. But
I
if
guess
the protectors summoned her into that circle, why didn't they banish her? Could they?
Well, and wouldn't there have been if they summoned... You usually summon a demon because you want it to do something for you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't seem like idiots, the protectors.
Mm-hmm.
So if they summoned it, they should also have bound it.
Well, it certainly can't move from where it is.
That's true. But it doesn't seem to be... If it's useful, it could be useful, if you know what I mean. But I just don't know. Strictly speaking, we should probably do something about this tonight, right?
Yeah. Especially since we've rattled the doorknob here.
Yeah.
That'll lead to investigation, which might lead to people who are not clever enough getting into that room.
So we're going to try a banishment without Jessica.
Yeah.
All right. I start flipping through Creighton's compendium to see if there's any banishing rituals in there.
All right. All right. All right. So, if you take a look at the effects from use magic, you can inflict harm, enchant a weapon, do something beyond normal human limitations, bar a place or portal to a specific person or type of creature, trap a specific person, minion, or monster, banish a spirit or curse from the person, object, or place it inhabits, summon a monster into the world, communicate with something that you do not share a language with, observe another place or time, or heal one harm from injury, cure disease, neutralize a poison. Based on my reading of those effects, the more common basic move of use magic, none of those effects seem to apply to what you want to do. Does everyone agree that that's how you would interpret those effects?
So the banish specifically said a spirit or curse.
A spirit or curse. That was the one that felt a little borderline.
Yeah, I can see this being a big magic.
Okay. Yeah.
If
that was
no one objects. Does anybody object to my having stated that?
I like it, especially because it's more climactic.
Yeah.
Indeed. Cool. So with big magic, that's when you want more than the use magic effects. What you want to do, just so I'm clear, you want to send Eleanor to hell. Yes?
Yep.
Cool.
Buy her a bus ticket home.
Let's go home.
Got what she wanted, unfortunately. Cool. So I am going to say that the spell needs to be cast at a particular place and or time. Time is the moment of dawn, when light comes into the world. And I'm also going to say that you need 5 people to banish someone who's already trapped in a pentagram. With that, you then would need a leader of the ritual. Normally it would be Jessica. Fortunately, it's not.
Tekla.
It can be Tekla, absolutely. She's got the weird for it. Who will use magic to begin the ritual, and then you can banish this demon back to hell. Now, that said, don't forget that Ollie knows his prey, which are demons, so he gets a +1 when fighting this creature. So that is one thing I want to make sure that's on the table and you guys are aware of. But it doesn't necessarily need to dissuade you from your choice of action. So with that knowledge, you guys went pretty early, like 10 o'clock at night, something like that?
Yeah, ish.
You have a number of hours to spend. What do you wish to do? If you agree on that course of action. So you read through the compendium. This is what you figure out what you need to do to be able to take Eleanor.
Yeah.
So we need 2 more people.
Yeah.
Correct?
Mm-hmm. I guess I've been brought back out to discuss this.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
We motion you out.
I'm not saying banishing is stupid, but can we just hear me out? But stab her, shoot her.
While I like the way you think, I think she's too dangerous.
In what, she's like 5'6"?
When she's pretending to be a cute lady, she is 5'6".
Okay. Yeah. All right.
When we see the true form, that's not going to be the case.
So banishing.
I'm quite into that. If we fuck up, though, we're definitely falling back to killing it.
I'll be ripped to shreds trying.
Exactly.
Yes.
So now that we have this, I'm sorry, I just have to interrupt to show a little bit of show and tell because I like this picture from the book. Now that we kind of are all on the same page, I'm going to show you the picture that goes along with this just because I think it's neat. Here we go. So there is the the picture, and there's the cool map in the back, and that is where the the symbol, all of the yarn lines up. You can see the big thicket national forest and Golan County Airport and all that cool stuff. So
Cool.
I thought that was neat. And you can see the cool pentagram that she's standing in the middle. Just ignore those claws. That I don't know what that is. Some kind of artist rendition. Who knows?
It's just they have problems with women. I can tell.
Obviously. Me too. Wait, no, that's not what I meant.
Ladies constantly getting their nails did. So back to in character. We need 2 more people. Who are we going to get? Jessica's busy.
Derek's been out of pocket with Tip all day.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I'm not calling Toby.
No. I can call Hannah.
Hannah, that's a good idea. Hey, I have a question. Why don't we ever call Professor Mac?
The keeper thinks that too, but hey.
It just occurred to me that he's kind of actually paying us.
We need to set up a meeting with him, and really soon and off campus.
Yes, okay. But so we will not call him tonight.
I'm just going to put this on the table, but do we trust him still?
Well, we have to figure that out.
It's a good question. Vaguely, maybe. I certainly like the money. Margaret Winters?
I raise my eyebrows and go, yeah?
Or, I mean, Lily owes us her ass, but she's probably still ghost groggy.
Didn't Goth Girl get all excited about doing magic?
Des was good at it. But Des doesn't...
With Margaret.
Huh?
Maybe they come as a pair. They did seem to go off together.
Maybe Margaret will be a good influence on Des.
Maybe she'll dress less stupid.
Well, let's tier up and pick our favorites. And I definitely think Margaret, Des, Hannah. And then we're going to have to get desperate if they all turn us down.
I'm fine with that order.
Okay.
Margaret's an easy ask. Getting her up by dawn is the only challenge, but she promises she'll set 3 alarms, and we'll try to take a nap. I do want to play out the conversation with Des, though.
Everyone just sort of looks at me, and I'm like, yes, I'm calling her.
So, do you guys see her at a room? Her solo?
Yeah.
Sweet. Head over, knock on the door. This has been, since her hair fell out, just timeline-wise, it's been a couple months now.
Mm-hmm.
So within a couple months, she's probably grown like really, really, really short hair. Yeah. So knock on the door, open it up. You see that it's still very dark. There's a lot of like lace that has been put over the bed. There are a bunch of posters of Brandon Lee and the Crow. There's also Sushi and the Banshees poster. It's like a concert poster. And currently she's listening to Morrissey as you come in. Tekla.
Hey, Des.
This is like 11 o'clock at night. And she steps back and kind of holds open the door as if to gesture, come inside.
Yep.
So I hear you and Bethany are doing well.
Yeah, we're doing okay.
Are you too serious?
Ish. We haven't
That's
had the
good.
conversation yet, but I'm not a dating around kind of girl. So, how you liking a solo?
It's good. I like being alone.
Nice.
How are you otherwise?
Stressed. Things are busy. Came over to ask you for a favor.
She parades herself over to have a seat on her chair. She pulls the chair out from the little built-in desk thing, right?
Uh-huh.
Has a seat and puts her hands on her knee.
Uh-huh.
How can I help you, Tekla? My friend.
We need your ritual and oratory skills.
For what?
I'm like, this is Des. I'm just going to say it. We are sending a caged demon back to hell. It is a light of dawn ritual. I know. I'm not feeling good about that either. I think I'm going to caffeine nap in an hour and then just Iron Man it until morning because 6 a.m. is not my friend. Or 5 or... You know what? I take my phone and I start searching for when dawn's going to be this morning because I need to know exactly.
Cool. Yeah, you can search sun and moon data for a day on the U.S. Navy Military Observatory website, and you find that it comes up at like 6:38.
Okay. 6:38, I say out loud.
Antimeridian. God. You must hate me.
No, it's really not hate. I hate mornings. And mornings hate me back.
Why don't you roll to manipulate her?
Can I take my +1 forward from premonitions?
You can.
All right. Cool. So that's an 11.
Wow. Yeah, because you have a +1 already from charm, +1 from your +1 forward, or +1 while investigating. She thinks for a moment and she says, well, you did help me with the hair and the investigation. We will be even if I do this. And you will not let me come to harm.
Of course not.
Okay. Well, I need to sleep, obviously.
Yep. Talk to you in the morning.
She actually like does that breathy laugh there of like, yes, this sucks.
Yep.
By the way, that picture for Desmo's haircut, perfect.
Real
I
cute.
don't know if you get that much length out of in that time frame, but
But she's got maybe some Joan of Arc bangs going on.
nice. Joan of Arc bangs with best. Cool. So based on time, I think we'll just kind of cut to the 5 of you re-entering. I'm not going to make you roll dice again. Re-enter. You got to put a new HP Lovecraft finger puppet over the camera. Coming at dawn. You're not sure how early Mary Lane gets in, so this is definitely risking it. You guys head up, creaky stairs, go into the room, and immediately she says, why are there other people here? You don't understand what you're throwing away here. I can help you. Those others, they were fools. They tried to stop the convergence. They don't understand. I will tell you the truth, but you have to let me go. If you do this, you will be as ignorant as they.
Listen, lady. There have been 60 plus years of books, movies, and television, since they trapped you in this circle. And the word convergence never means anything good in any of them. We're sending you away.
You can't stop what's coming.
We can stop you from benefiting from it.
When I come back, I will dance on your graves.
Yeah, and you'll eat my liver with a nice Chianti and some fava beans, whatever.
That does sound nice. Go ahead and begin the ritual.
All right. Do I get my +1 forward for this as well?
You do, because you are still trying to fight your premonition. You are made for this stuff.
It is a 13.
Damn it! Ollie, you are the expert on demons. Tell us, what does this ritual look like as the 5 of you cast this thing together to send her back to hell?
I think it's some chanting, and I think as it starts to take effect, she's kind of slamming herself against but like at some sort of superhuman speed. So it's like,
she does that like vibrating type thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
and then her
like
seeming drops away. You can see the demonic, like that blue-black skin underneath that gaping maw. What else? What does it look like when the spell fires off?
I think, like in the picture you showed, like all the chalk outline starts to kind of have that kind of haze glow coming off it, and it's getting more and more vivid. And I think it's noticeably affecting her, like somebody's shining a bright light at her, until it just becomes almost blinding. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. And then like a ray of sun, even though this thing has no windows, like a ray of sun that becomes a blinding light. And all of you have to avert your eyes as you finish the ritual. Tekla, you feel all 4 of these souls bind together with yours as you cast this thing to the place that spawned it. And one last curse hurled at you, a feeble curse, because no power can exit that protective pentagram, and then it is gone.
Good work, team. High fives.
Desdemona does not. She declines high fives.
At the same moment that you put your hands up for high five, I have my fist out for a dap. So it's kind of awkward. I have to decide whether
Margaret definitely was like she will fist bump.
And then I'll use my left hand for the high five.
I reach over, give Tekla the high five, and like give like a pretty hard fist punch.
Yeah. Like a punch his shoulder kind of thing?
Yeah. Just like there's like you can hear the knuckles hit each other.
But I take it. I think we should take everything in this room that we can. And because we left and came back, I will have brought a duffel bag to carry shit with. And I think
also kind of like just like put my hand in my jacket and just pull out a lighter and go and kind of like flick it open with the flame and just.
No, we're not burning down this lady's bookshop.
Click.
Desdemona says, but you are burning down that Teddy Ruxpin.
Fuck yeah.
Get it in the duffel bag. Let's go. Move.
Yeah. It's light out.
I wait for somebody else to pick it up.
Awesome. So you guys head down. There's a bit of like laughter from Margaret. Like, you guys just cast out a demon. This is some next level shit for her. She's a white witch. She does like helping people and healing and guiding people the right courses. And like, this is like demon went away stuff. She is heady on this. Des, pretty even keel. Maybe like a half smile, like a little Mona Lisa smile going on there.
Yeah.
She picks up a book on the way out. Doesn't pay for it. You guys head out. You the ding from the glass. You hop into the Requiem, drive back towards East Texas University. We keep a long shot still on the bookstore, and then we see Mary Lynn in her 60s. She comes walking up, the door opens right up, and she looks around like and sees H.P. Lovecraft finger puppet over the camera. And that will be the end of our session. So we've got some end of session stuff. Then I'd like to take a quick bio break and do Roses and Thorns. Let's do our end of session stuff. Did we conclude the current mystery?
Yep.
Did we save someone from certain death or worse?
Yeah,
based on Tekla's
did.
premonition, we did.
Yeah,
And
you saved
a little side premonition
Yeah, true.
as well.
Did you learn something new and important about the world?
There's a convergence.
Yeah.
There is. And a map. And
And a map.
strings.
And strings.
Did you guys
Strings
pull
like
the
this.
map down? Like, you took a picture, but did you pull the map down? I assume you did, right? Like,
Yeah.
You stripped
we-
that place clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Strings. We're closer to Monster Hearts.
Oh, yes. We've got strings now. Monster Hearts of the Week. Did we learn something new and important about one of the hunters?
No, I don't think.
Nah.
I don't think so either. All right. Well, that is 3. So with 3 or 4 answers with yes, you mark 2 experience points. Go ahead and mark that, my friends. We're going to take a
That-
2-minute bio break. Oh, sorry, Paul.
That will be in advance for me.
Yay! Hooray! We're technically at midterm, so we could do that if we wanted to, but we'll save that for next session. Yes!
I also advance and then have 2 XP banked after.
Oh my goodness, oh so much XP.
Me too.
This Rogers guy's running a Monty Hall game with his XP, and you get an advance, and you get an advance. All right, everybody advance. That's wonderful. Cool. 2 minutes, and I need a quick bio, and we'll do our Roses and Thorns. Be right back.
Cool.
And I am back.
Welcome back.
I took a boring +1 tough.
Nice. Hey, by the way, please let Boodle know Happy Mother's Day.
It's actually different dates in Norway.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
When is?
It's actually nearer to April. I mean, to Valentine's. Sorry, brain. So I actually have a somewhere a Happy Mother's Day / Valentine's thing card that I made.
I remember that card. That's awesome card.
The one with little baby Turin,
yes,
basically chest busting through her, creating a
Wait, maybe I haven't seen that one.
I
remember a Mother's Day card, and I think it's actually attached to your RPG Geek profile, if I remember correctly.
I can see if I can find it. Screenshots.
I don't know if Jen's seen the card that you made for our Apocalypse Roll game. Let me show you real quick.
Sure.
The I don't know if you can see it that well, but that's the card that I did a few years back when they really aligned Valentine's Day.
Oh,
that's a nightmare.
We have a tradition of that's the kind of the Valentine's cards we send. She started it with in university with a card of her holding her own heart out, ripped from her own chest. So.
Nice. This is the card that was made by Alex after our Apocalypse Roll 2014 game that kind of launched this gaming group with all the player characters. It means a great deal to me. Nice. And they even wrote on the inside, they wrote me a move, and they all signed it, sent it around Europe to get it all signed for everybody. That's fun. Pretty special. Yeah. They've got a +1 ongoing with me, so it's sad that I could make that joke and you guys all get it. We're such nerds. Okay, roses and thorns. So we can keep this nice and I like to do it as a regular routine. As you know, thorns, things that didn't go quite as well, or stuff that didn't super work for you. We will start with Jen. Did you have any thorns from today's session? If so, what?
It was a good session. I missed having Jules and Jan, of course.
There you go. That was the easy one.
Yeah,
I was waiting for you to take that low-hanging fruit.
It's practically on the ground. I'm wearing it as shoes.
You accidentally kicked it. Right.
And yeah, the other thing that I might mention, Paul brought up first, so I'm going to leave it to him.
Okay.
But it's not quite a thorn, but anyways.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
All right. Good deal. Paul, what did you mention?
I have no idea. What did I mention?
Our professorial sponsor. And how not involved he is now that we've met him.
Yes.
And his intern, whose name I don't remember.
Jax. So I hear you. And what's funny is when I originally read over the East Texas University and the Degrees of Horror, which is the plot point campaign, Glenn Mack is featured heavily. He is kind of your quest giver. He's the point to nudge you to the next plot point. And I realized very early on in this game that you guys didn't need that. With premonitions, with the expert moves, with all the stuff that you guys are doing, you're pushing things along and you're finding your own plots. And then, of course, we're developing a lot of stuff on the side. And so I did make a conscious choice to kind of put him in the backseat to be a resource towards you guys. In fact, I wasn't even going to bring him up until the exams roll where you kind of needed it. And I'm like, okay, this is where I feel like the fiction that I have, it dictates that this is a resource that should be made available to you. But I don't feel the campaign is suffering from the lack of Glenn Mack's feature. There are aspects of the plot point campaign that I've rerouted around him pushing you or nudging you. That said, he is definitely a resource that you guys are welcome to use, and there are things going on for him. So don't feel like you need to stay away from Glenn Mack. He's there.
Okay.
But it's not super realistic that he's paying you and not doing stuff. So I agree that that's a weird canon head.
It was just one of those moments when it hit me in that moment. Like, who are we going to call? Huh. No, not the guy that pays us. No, that makes too much sense.
Yeah.
The
guy with supernatural knowledge.
Yeah. My only actual thorn is kind of my fault. Which was that first scene with Ollie and Earl wound up very much being Ollie standing around waiting for Earl to do stuff. And that was because of the way I set it up.
I consciously was letting you kind of take the lead and stuff, especially since I had such a me-focused last session.
Cool. All right.
I was consciously choosing to be, just I'm the sidekick here.
Then I will not lose sleep over it, but that was my thorn.
Good. You don't get much sleep, so try not to lose it over Alex. All right, cool. Alex, any thorns from you?
A thorn with I see exactly why kind of thing. The kind of session kind of wrapped up quite quickly, but there wasn't that much more to do, so it would have been a start of the next session wrapping up quite quickly anyway, and then so I get why it's better to start afresh on a new one next time rather than finishing off the last little bit of this one.
Like it was one of those where you guys were hunting around for 2 more people, and then we would have had the 2 players join up, and it would have been 2 weeks later, and then it would have been that weird awkward of like, okay, Derek and Jessica, you don't get to do it. I agree with you. Like I actually had that thought process of like, should we end at 3:30 and leave this with you guys not hunting down Des and Margaret, and then you just bring the other 2 player characters in? I would have been open to that, but I actually really
you made the right call.
Thanks. But I hear you. It was weird. I felt guilty. Like I was kicking myself. Like, was there more stuff that I could have trimmed up earlier so that we would have had more time here for the resolution? Isn't it the denouement? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
All right.
My roses.
Sweet. Thank you. Paul, what rose did you have?
Wait, Alex had roses first, right?
Shoot.
Yeah.
I'm a doof.
Yeah, just because I had one on, there in front of my mind. I thought Tekla's encounter with her chem professor was actually creepier than her encounter with the
President Nelson.
Yeah. I thought that was actually, that gave me like the more than he did, with like the more like the kind of vaguely veiled threats. But this one was like, okay, now I'm like really off balance, and I thought that was really good.
Yay! Thank you.
Nice building up of from that, but even better.
Beautiful. Any other roses?
That one jumped into my head, so now I that knocked everything else out of my head.
If you think of another one, you can jump in.
I will jump.
Okay, cool. Paul, what rose did you have?
I also like that moment, but in a larger context, I think for sure we should encourage Jules and Jan to watch this, because I think it pointed us into the meta plot, the big arc, both in 2 time directions, right? Pointed us back to the past history of people like us at ETU, and then forward into the, oh shit, that just got worse with Professor Cutter. And so I think our context within the larger picture is clearer after this, and I think it was done without being ham-handed or overly cute, overly clever. So congratulations, you did a
Thank you.
fine job presenting that.
Good. I mean,
And-
we're 12 sessions in. This is a plot point campaign. I'm excited because like this sets off some stuff. You've got the sanctuary now, which means you're going to be getting more information on the people who are doing what you were doing before. You've got this name drop of the convergence. I'm glad that that is clicking for you guys because I'm pretty excited.
And also, I loved the conversation between Tekla and Des. Desdemona is just one of those delightful, originally meant to be a throwaway NPC
Yep.
kind of things, and so much has come out of it that I love that. Both Goth Girl and Golf Girl have wound up becoming true, recurring stars. So
I still want the Tea and Lace spin-off.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Coming to FXX near you.
Yeah.
Cool. Any more, Paul?
Nope.
Jen.
It was kind of fun to see Ollie and Earl just kind of socializing and working on some stuff together. That was cool. I enjoyed that. I just don't see them together in scenes a whole lot as them just congregating. So
I did get that. Yeah, that's something I liked.
Mhm.
The chance to do that, and since we kind of unloaded some of the baggage off Ollie to be a little bit more lighthearted.
yeah.
Yeah, we got
still offering stabbings.
Yeah, exactly. We got some bro time and whatever. Oh, I just remembered a thorn.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Rich.
that's okay.
We should have burned that Teddy Ruxpin on camera.
Oh, you're right.
Hold on. Time out. Rewind. During the end credits.
When the car's driving away.
No, it's just during the end credits. It's a focus shot of the Teddy Ruxpin from above the view of the screen. This stream of lighter fluid rains down onto it, and then the first match kind of lands over to the side, doesn't do it, but the second lit match sort of gets stuck in the crook of the air and goes up. While
and then, just as the final song is starting to play, you hear a heavy car door slam, and you see the left front wheel of the Requiem drive over the burning Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh yeah, grit spraying.
And then we pull back just a little bit further, and we see that it's actually the window of a YouTube channel, and it's on Earl's.
Yes, perfect.
And we see likes sort of picking up on that.
Definitely. Oh, that's great.
There we go.
Sweet. Any
like
other?
those moments.
Thank you all for letting me do that.
That was great. That was super good.
Well,
Yep.
if we take away that thorn, we solved that.
Some of them we can fix in post.
Yeah, exactly. We have a move for it.
Yeah, fix it in post.
Any other roses, Jen?
Goodness. I gotta say, I like the angle with Professor Cutter. That made me feel legitimately icky.
Yay! I'm super happy that fired. That's good.
That fired real well.
I loved the look on your face. I don't even necessarily think it was at first an in character thing. When Rich said he's handed you the key, and I there was this like dismay coming over Jen's face that then you transformed into Tekla. But I love that moment. You were like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
And then Tekla was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, when he read that note, I was like,
it's real bad.
He's gonna like say you just can't take it at all, or you're kicked off the clan. Like, what? What's happening?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep, that was good.
Good, nice.
Yeah, I liked the interaction that we had. I like the history and the context coming together. It's starting to feel deep and it feels pretty natural. So that's good. Circling back kind of to Thorns a little bit. We need Earl's crew to get a clue, I think. Or something.
Did bring Spike into something.
Spike was there for the Lily banishment. Or no, for the one of the banishment things.
Okay.
She there for a meet?
Yeah, I mean, she was there. She actually filmed it.
Okay. Okay, cool. I definitely want to see more of Earl's crew. And I understand
see him filming for his channel specifically.
Yeah, I want to see Earl working with his teammates. You know, in his day job team. Because they're there and they're attached to your character, and I want to see you getting good use at that.
Still here.
Cool.
So I'll throw out some roses, circling around to. First, I'll say for Paul, I was really happy to see the snooping. Like, you jumped on that immediately and were like, let me engage. This is a thing that I do. And Earl was, doing interviews, beating the street. That was really fun. And like, once you realized, oh, I'm to the point where I'm probably not going to get much from this particular person, like, you intuited that. And it was a very graceful, like, let me exit out of this. And so based on that, I'm like, yeah, Mary's not going to suspect anything. You just made some conversation like you do in a small town. And so she's probably not going to immediately think, he broke into my place and stole one book and messed up some finger puppets. So
they're dusty now.
Dang it.
Margaret Atwood and the Iron Rand are of the wrong place.
I was very pleased with the conversation about, do we kill this demon or do we use it for information? I like that. I like that everybody didn't just group think it through. I wanted that conversation to take place. I wanted that temptation to be a real and present thing. And I was glad that you guys worked through that, because I do think there would be some advantages to having a demon on a leash. It probably wouldn't work out in the end, but for a brief period of time, could be a good thing. Or something. Like, there's no fiction that we have to tell us that's a bad thing, right? We just make it up. It'd be a generally good thing.
One last rose. I don't know if it was just a turn of phrase he kept using, but when Earl kept using the word thrust, and I don't know if it was a character thing he was actually going for, but
it honestly just happened. And then I was like, oh, crud, because we had just had that whole conversation about hole before we started the game. And I think I fell into the same trap. I was like, I can think of no other word right now.
I thought you were rolling with it once Earl pointed it out, and that was pretty spectacularly fun.
Just we had the whole talk about, like, how Earl and Jess left it and all that stuff, and then how she's like, secluded herself. Then,
that was clever. Another rose. This is a random rose, but Paul, you linked up that picture of Des with short hair. Your suggestion. I did a Google image search and found that model, and man, she's done some cool photo shoots. Des is gonna have some cool outfits coming up. Really
Sweet.
Cool. Not as gothic as before, but those are really swanky. Jen, I really enjoyed that conversation between Des and Tekla. I see, like, there's a friend, like, there's not a romantic connection, but I love there's like this friend connection between the two of them. But I like that they never call on it. It's just we get along, and no one gets along with Des, so that's always fun.
Yep. Yeah. It's that quanta of friendship, or something like only people who don't know them would say, "Oh yeah, you're friends with Desdemona, right?" But they'd be correct, but it would feel wrong.
Yeah.
Nice. So I really enjoyed this game. You guys all brought it. It's fun when we keep this campaign going, but we mix up the characters that are involved, and I'm glad that we continued on. Though that said, I do miss Jan and Jules, and look forward for their return to find out that you guys pushed a demon back to hell.
Yeah.
They're just like, and
exactly. Boring. All right. Well, 2 weeks hence, we will continue Monster of the Week. Things are starting to ramp up. You guys are, well, technically you're in freshman year. You've entered sophomore year, sophomore level mysteries at this point. Cool. So things are quickly coming to a head, which is pretty exciting. So we'll see you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.